Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the HIVE podcast. I'm Lawrencia Moten, and I have the amazing pleasure of sitting here with Elle. Now, Elle, can you give us a quick little description on how your day went today?
It's been a long day. Luckily, I had pre-meet today, so I didn't have to wake up at 6:30 a.m. I didn't have a morning lift because I compete tomorrow. But it's been a lot of classes, and I just got out of practice.
Nice. Awesome. So you compete tomorrow, but your last meet or invitational was the Roanoke Invitational. And how do you feel like you did personally?
Personally, I think I did pretty well. Not a PR, but it was pretty close. And I did end up getting first, but I've changed a little bit how I throw since last year. So that was the first meet we've implemented that.
Okay, nice. So now you just mentioned that you changed a little bit how you throw. So this summer, obviously, training was totally different, with COVID, even though you are doing an outside sport. So maybe it wasn't too different for you. But I know for a lot of the different other sports, facilities weren't open. So how was that training for you at home?
It was pretty hard because to throw, you need a circle and places to do drills. And I live in the country where it's a lot of gravel and not a lot of flat surfaces.
Got it.
So finding somewhere to drill was really hard. Luckily, I had a friend who's associated with a school that has a throwing circle, so I could get in there and do a couple turns in there, but it was really difficult. Mostly I just did weight training.
Okay. So it was pretty difficult, but you were still able to, improve something in your game. So now you just touched on it a little bit, the throw. So can you give us more of like an in-depth description as to what you changed specifically?
Yeah, so for indoors, I throw weight and shot put. And for those don't know, weight is like a basket that has a heavy ball inside of it with a handle, and it's really short in comparison to a hammer.
Okay.
So normally I would swing it beside me to get the momentum to get my turns, but now I implemented an overhead start, so I'm putting it over my head when I go into my first turn.
Awesome. And how has that been working for you? I know like you just implemented it, but did you see success? Does it feel a little bit more comfortable?
Yeah, the throws ended up going a lot further than last year's, the start of the season. So it was about a meter further than my first meet last year. So it was pretty good.
Awesome. Congratulations. It sounds like, you're headed in the right direction. So great trajectory. Now, how do you feel your team as a whole is doing so far? And what is a reasonable expectation that you could see your team, succeeding to in the ODAX?
It's been hard with COVID and kind of practicing. So I feel like the team as like a whole might not be as close as past years just because we practice at different times to like limit the exposure to each other.
Mhm.
But I think overall on the girl side specifically, we're doing really well. I know Bailey is doing amazing in the high jump or pole vault right now. We've got a lot of people in the jumps that are doing well. So I think the girls side, we're doing really well.
Awesome. So now you touched on the two events that you do specifically. Which one would you say is your favorite? And do you do more than just shot put and weight, or is that all you do specifically for this team?
For indoor right now, it's just shot and weight, but weight is my event, my main event. So when I practice, it's primarily weight for indoors. But when we go outdoors, I include hammer, which is the outdoor version of weight. And then I do discus. But I think hammer and weight throw are my two main events.
Okay, awesome. So now I did some shot put and discus in high school, so I know a little bit about that. So what do you feel like is the biggest difference for those people who maybe didn't do track and field in high school or have any experience with it? How would you describe, those two events to them?
So I was actually one of those people that didn't do track and field in high school.
Wow.
Yeah, I joined the team freshman year of college. And I can't really explain it from like a new point of view because to me it was new.
Yeah.
And I had briefly touched a shot put in like middle school. We did like a mock track and field type thing.
Mhm.
But it's different because I used to play I played team sports, so basketball, soccer, lacrosse, field hockey. I played a little bit of everything. So joining the track and field team was different, and it requires a lot of coordination, and I'm glad I had that.
Awesome. So now you have an extremely interesting journey, like starting it in college on the collegiate level. So coming into college, you mentioned some of the other sports that you played. Did you think about, continuing your career in any of those at the college level?
I definitely thought about basketball. I did AAU a lot. Basically, my entire summers were run by basketball. So I thought that's what I wanted to do. But when I came to Lynchburg, I wanted to focus on academics. And then my first month in, I realized I had too much time on my hands and I needed to play a sport because I've played sports my whole life and I just need that time.
I love that. So now you mentioned that you wanted to focus on academics. So your major is communications, and that's a major that's near and dear to my heart. I graduated in May with a communications bachelor's degree. So what is your dream job, or how do you feel like Lynchburg specifically has prepared you for, a job that maybe you didn't originally dream of having, in the future?
So my dream job is to work with animal nonprofits. I ended up raising a service animal in my senior year of high school. Canine Companions for Independence. I raised a puppy through them. So I'm hoping to work more on the side with animals and trying to help people who need to get service animals get those.
Awesome. And so you feel like it's just been going great. Like, have you been able to do any internships? I know with like sports, things are kind of hectic, but have you been able to do any?
Yeah, I interned with the Humane Foundation by me. So I got a lot of exposure to like how humane foundations are run, if I work with that aspect of nonprofits. But I also worked with a video marketing and editing company. So I produced a lot of videos. That's my main focus right now, is just producing and making videos.
Okay, what kind of videos?
Anything and everything. So I did a marketing video because my minor is marketing. So lots of marketing videos during my internship, but I also did one or two like product videos that just kind of focused on the business itself and what they did for other companies.
Awesome. So that sounds amazing. And it sounds like you're fitting right into the field that you want to go to. So just continue with those internships. I know you'll do great. Now, specifically for your meet that you have tomorrow, how do you feel you can improve from your last meet?
So we focused a lot today for pre-meet on shot because that was one of the ones that I struggled with in the last meet. We're focusing on getting back in the circle just because I focused on weight so much. Shot was kind of pushed to the side. So we're getting back into shot, throwing that one. And then just against a higher competition, it's on a different level when you throw against D1 athletes. I know there's somebody, I looked at the meet sheet, there's somebody tomorrow throwing 19 meters in weight. Wow. And I can't wait to watch it because just watching the higher level throwers, you can learn more from that.
Definitely. And I feel like that's something that not a lot of people are mentioning, the fact that just being in that environment can also, allow you to learn a lot, which I think is great that you already see. So we talked about it a little bit before I started recording that you are from Delaplane, Virginia, which is a little under 3 hours away. What made you want to come to the University of Lynchburg?
I was looking for a small school, so I graduated with a class of 25. So really small. So I was used to the small aspect and the personal connections that I had with my teachers in high school. So I was looking for that same like environment when I went to university or college. But when I stepped foot on the campus, I kind of knew this was the place. I had done a couple tours on some other campuses, but as soon as I got here, I just felt like this was right.
And I hear that's like a common thread and a common theme with everyone. It's like when they stepped foot on campus, they got that feeling, which is awesome. I feel like that's something that Lynchburg has specifically. So my last question to you is, and this could be like a personal goal. This could be like an athletic goal, no restrictions. What is one goal that you have for 2021?
Whew, That's a big question. I'd say like push myself further and step out of my comfort zone, because right now, just like specifically in athletics, a lot of the stuff I'm doing is kind of the same stuff I did last year. So I've only been doing 2 turns in weight throw and 2 turns in hammer throw, and I want to get to that 3rd turn, possibly the 4th turn. Who knows? It's an option, but I've kind of taken a step back from that because I'm just like so used to doing what I already know that I felt like there's no point in going further. But seeing the competition that I'm up against, I need to take that extra step.
I love that. So just pushing yourself to the limit, and there's honestly no limit, you know what I mean, when you really think about it. So I love that you just mentioned that. Well, thank you so much, Elle, for sitting down. I know your day was extremely busy today. Thursdays are your busy day, but it really means a lot that you were able to like sit here and open up to me. So thank you so much.
Thank you.